Today's lesson is Lunar New Year's shopping. Hi, everybody. I am Roger.
And my name is Helen.
And New Year is coming up soon, so you might want to go do some shopping for the holiday. You need to make some preparations. And, of course, a lot of Lunar New Year shopping involves buying lots of food or tasty goodies.
Right, so we're talking about Lunar New Year, and Lunar New Year has the word lunar in it. And this word means relating to the moon. Anything that's related to the moon, you can describe as lunar. You can talk about a lunar eclipse, which is when the sun, earth, and moon align so that the moon passes into Earth's shadow.
Right, or of course, if you followed the Apollo missions in the 60s and 70s, they used the lunar lander to actually land on the moon. But we're talking about Chinese New Year or Lunar New Year. You can refer to it as both. And, of course, you need to do some shopping. And in today's lesson, we've got a conversation involving Nora and Leo. And they're getting ready for Lunar New Year. So let's listen to their conversation right now.
Lunar New Year shopping. Shopping at the market. Nora and Leo are getting ready for Lunar New Year.
Hey, Leo, I'm planning to head to the market to get more New Year's supplies.
Good idea. I'll join you. We shouldn't leave things to the last minute like we did last year.
I'd like to buy some candies and treats to share with our relatives and friends when they come over.
Later, they are wandering through the market. I'm trying to find the nougat that Grandma loves. Oh, here it is. I should get some for her.
Of course. Can you grab some of the jerky over there too?
Sure.
Hello there. Would you like to try some of our special Lunar New Year dishes? We've got Buddha's Temptation, radish cake, and sticky rice with crab, among others. We're taking pre-orders for takeout too. That sounds fantastic. What do you think, Leo? Shall we pre-order some dishes for our New Year's Eve dinner?
Why not? It'll really lighten the load on preparation time.
大家好，第一部分我们看到标题中的单字 lunar， 这个形容词的意思是阴历的。例如 Do you know the lunar date for the Dragon Boat Festival? 你知道端午节的阴历日期吗？又或者说 The Moon Festival is held on the 15th day of the 8th lunar month. 中秋节是在阴历8月的第15天庆祝。另外 lunar 也可以代表月亮的或是月球的。例如Some people believe that the different lunar phases can influence human behavior. 有些人认为不同的月相可能会影响人类行为。或是 The astronomer was studying the lunar cycle. 这位天文学家在研究月球的周期。接下来是名词 radish， 它常常用来指红色或白色的小萝卜。例如 Mom asked Norman to pick up ingredients for the salad, including radishes and olive oil. 妈妈叫 Norman 去采买沙拉的材料，其中包括小萝卜和橄榄油。或者 Radish cake is a tasty and common breakfast for Taiwanese people. 萝卜糕对台湾人来说是美味又常见的早餐。再来看到单字 pre-order， 这个名词是预购或是预定的意思。例如 This purse is available for pre-order online. 这款钱包已经开放线上预购。再举一个例子If people make pre-orders in the shop, they will get a discount. 如果人们在这家商店预购商品，他们将获得折扣。下一个介绍动词 lighten， 它的意思是使变轻或是减轻。例如 Billy removed some unneeded supplies from his backpack to lighten the weight. Billy 把自己背包中不必要的物品拿掉，以减轻重量。又或者说James wants to hire an assistant in the hope of lightening his workload. James 想要聘请一名助理，希望会减轻他的工作量。此外 lighten 也有使气氛或是对话等变得轻松，或是缓和气氛的意思。例如 Ricky made some jokes to lighten the mood. Ricky 讲了些笑话，缓和气氛。再举一个例子 Neil made a few smart comments to try lightening the mood after the funeral. 丧礼过后，你又说了一些轻松的话，来试着缓解气氛。
The title of the first conversation is Shopping at the Market, and we have Nora and Leo getting ready for Lunar New Year. And Nora says to Leo, "Hey Leo, I'm planning to head to the market to get more New Year supplies." So Nora wants to prepare for the celebrations by getting supplies for the new year. And Leo says, "Good idea. I'll join you. We shouldn't leave things to the last minute like we did last year."
So, of course, if you wait too long to do something, we use the phrase to leave things to the last minute. In other words, a lot of times we're just kind of lazy or we're busy with other things, and we don't do things earlier. We wait to the last minute, and then, of course, you get really nervous, and you have to fight traffic, and you might not be able to get what you want. It may all be sold out. So, yeah, don't leave things to the last minute. And I guess they did this last year. They did leave things to the last minute. Maybe they were too busy with work and they didn't have time. They had to wait for the day right before New Year. So indeed, they did leave things to the last minute.
And Nora says, "I'd like to buy some candies and treats to share with our relatives and friends when they come over." So Nora wants to prepare the visits of her friends and relatives by buying some candies and other treats so that when those people come over to her house, she can treat them to these candies and treats. So the other treats could be fruit or other tasty items that they could have before they have the actual meal.
Right, and I should mention here that the word candies is a countable form of the word candy. We generally refer to candy as a non-count noun, like children like to eat candy. But if you're talking about different kinds of candy that you can buy, different flavors and different packages, then you can make it plural. And they're going to buy some candies, and they're also going to buy some treats, and they want to share those things with relatives when they come over to visit, and the friends will come over as well. Now, later, they're wandering through the market. Maybe they've gone to a traditional market. Maybe they've gone to Dihua Street or whatever, and they're just wandering through the market. They're not really in a big hurry. They're browsing, they're checking things out, and deciding what to buy.
Right, that's what wander means. It means to walk slowly and often without any particular goal, even though here they do have a goal, which is to buy candies and treats and other supplies for Lunar New Year. But they're walking slowly, wandering through the market. And Leo says, "I'm trying to find the nougat that Grandma loves. Oh, here it is. I should get some for her." So Leo wants to get nougat. And nougat is a kind of milk candy. It's usually hard, or it could also be not so hard and chewy. And it's white, and it can be filled with things like nuts and dried cranberries or dried fruit, and it's quite tasty.
Right, it's made from sugar, honey, it's got nuts in there, and egg whites. And of course, here in Taiwan, nougat is very popular, especially the kind that is white, and you can see the little nuts inside it. It's wrapped inside pieces of plastic. You can't miss it. They're all over the place during New Year. And Leo did find some of that nougat that Grandma loves to eat. And Nora says, "Of course, no problem. Can you grab some of the jerky over there too?" So they found some nougat, and they've also found some jerky. Jerky is basically dried meat of whatever form. When I was younger in my hometown, we used to eat a lot of beef jerky, but of course you can make jerky from any kind of meat.
Yes, so Nora wants to buy some jerky, and this could be beef jerky or it could be pork jerky. And she asks Leo to grab some, and Leo says sure. And the vendor greets both Leo and Nora by saying, "Hello there. Would you like to try some of our special Lunar New Year dishes?" So being a good vendor, a good seller, the vendor wants to entice Leo and Nora, attract their attention, and hopefully get them to buy something from the vendor by offering them some samples, by letting them taste some of the stuff that the vendor is selling.
And the vendor says, "We've got Buddha's temptation, radish cake, and sticky rice with crab, among others." So these are some examples of the kinds of foods that the vendor is selling. Buddha's temptation, which I think is also sometimes referred to as Buddha jumps over the wall, if you know what I'm talking about. They've also got radish cake, sometimes called turnip cake. A radish here is a kind of vegetable that grows underground, and it comes out white when you make these cakes, and it's quite tasty. You can put some sauce on it to make it even tastier. And also we've got sticky rice with crab. Crab, of course, is meat from a crab, and that can be very tasty as well.
That's right. And then the vendor says, we're taking pre-orders for takeout too. So evidently there are a lot of people who want to buy things from the vendor, and the vendor is taking pre-orders. A pre-order is an order for something, any product, that can be placed before the product is actually available for sale. So sometimes a company or a vendor doesn't know how much to produce of something for a particular event. It could be radish cake, and they take pre-orders so that they know the demand, how many people want to buy that item. And based on the pre-order, they then make that amount of product and then sell the product to those people who made the pre-order.
Right. Of course, they have to sell quite a bit of food during this time of the year. Lots of people will want to buy it. So it's a good idea to have a pre-order. Order it ahead of time to make sure you get what you want. And takeout here just means to go. You're going to take it with you. You're not going to eat it on the premises. You could also say take away. That's also common. But this does remind me that when you go to a restaurant, they may ask you this question, for here or to go? Are you going to eat it here in the restaurant, or are you going to take it with you? Is it going to be takeout? And Nora says, that sounds fantastic. It's a wonderful deal. You've got lots of great dishes there, and you're offering pre-orders for takeout. What do you think, Leo? Shall we pre-order some dishes for our New Year's Eve dinner? She wants to know what Leo's opinion is regarding buying some takeout food.
And Leo replies, why not? It'll really lighten the load on preparation time. So why not sounds like a question, as if Leo is asking Nora why not buy or why not pre-order some dishes. But what Leo is actually saying is, that's a great idea. I agree. Why not? We should do it. And the reason is that it will really lighten the load on preparation time. If they buy these dishes, then they won't have to spend so much time preparing their own dishes from scratch. And in that case, it will lighten the load or lighten the work that they'll have to do. To lighten simply means to reduce the amount of work or to reduce the heaviness of something. For instance, when you're traveling, you may need to lighten the weight of your luggage if you go overweight, and then you have to pay a penalty. So it's really important to be careful about that.
Right, so maybe you're studying too hard and you decide to lighten your course load and take fewer classes and maybe go to summer school or something like that to compensate. And yes, indeed, it will lighten their load on preparation time. It does sound like an easy way to prepare food for the New Year's celebrations. Okay, we're now going to move on to conversation number 2, pre-ordering Lunar New Year dishes. Let's listen.
Pre-ordering Lunar New Year dishes. Nora and Leo ask the vendor some questions about pre-ordering food for Lunar New Year.
Could you tell us a bit more about pre-ordering? Can the food be delivered? Yes, but dishes delivered to your home are frozen. If you prefer the dishes hot, they can be collected in person by noon at the latest on New Year's Eve.
What's the pickup schedule?
Pickup is available from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. during the 3 days leading up to the holiday.
How about home delivery?
Home delivery is an option, and we provide free delivery for orders exceeding 5,000 NT dollars.
That's quite convenient.
Thank you for your help. We'll need some time to discuss which dishes to pre-order. My pleasure. Take your time and just let me know when you're ready.
第二部分我们看到名词 pick up， 它的意思是提货或是取走物品，也可以是接人的意思。举例来说， Your meal will be ready for pickup in 15 minutes. 你的餐点将在15分钟内准备好并可取餐。又或者说， Justin missed the school bus pickup, therefore he was late for school. Justin 错过了校车接送，所以上学迟到了。最后介绍动词 exceed， 它的意思是超出或是超越。例如 The cost of your Christmas gift for the company party must not exceed $20. 为公司圣诞派对准备的礼物价值不可超过$20。或是 The film's quality exceeded viewers' expectations. 那部电影的品质超过观众的期待。
So the second part of the conversation is titled Pre-Ordering Lunar New Year Dishes. And Nora and Leo ask the vendor some questions about pre-ordering food for Lunar New Year. Nora says, "Could you tell us a bit more about pre-ordering? Can the food be delivered?" And the vendor replies, "Yes, but dishes delivered to your home are frozen. If you prefer the dishes hot, they can be collected in person by noon at the latest on New Year's Eve."
Okay, so there are some different choices here regarding pre-ordering, and Nora wants to know if the food can be delivered. It might be more convenient for the food to actually be sent over to their home without them having to go back to the vendor to get the food in person. The vendor says, yes, we do offer delivery. It can be delivered to your home, but the food will be frozen. It will be really cold. You'll have to thaw it out, and you'll have to cook it yourself. But if you prefer, or if you want the dishes to be hot, then you'll have to collect them in person. You'll have to come over yourself, and you can't do it after noon on New Year's Eve. After that, it will be too late. And New Year's Eve, of course, is the night before New Year's Day.
And Leo asks, what's the pickup schedule? So pickup here refers to the time when you can go to collect something or to collect somebody from a particular place. You might want to pick up your children, for instance. If you have small children at an elementary school, you might want to ask the school what is the latest time that you can do pickup for your child. And the vendor says pickup is available from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. during the 3 days leading up to the holiday.
Right, so that's the pickup times here from 10 in the morning until 6 in the afternoon. And that, of course, occurs during the 3 days leading up to the holiday. Here, leading up to just means before the holiday. And, of course, they need to have these schedules to make sure people can get their food on time. And they also need to make sure everybody picks up their food so that the vendors themselves can close shop and enjoy the festivities themselves with their families. And Leo has another question. How about home delivery? Okay, when is that service available? In other words, when can you deliver the food items to our home? The vendor says, well, home delivery is an option, and we provide free delivery for orders exceeding 5,000 NT dollars. So yes, it's a choice. It's an option. We can deliver it to your home or to your office or wherever. But again, it's going to be frozen. And, of course, we'll provide this for free if you buy food that goes over 5,000 NT dollars in price. So here we've got the word exceeding, which is from the verb to exceed, which means to go over something, to go beyond.
Right, to be more than a particular number or amount. In this case, the amount of the order needs to go beyond 5,000 NT because for less than that, the vendor does not want to provide home delivery. And Leo says that's quite convenient, and that suggests that Leo is considering home delivery. And Nora says to the vendor, "Thank you for your help. We'll need some time to discuss which dishes to pre-order." So it seems that both Leo and Nora are interested in ordering food from this vendor, but they have to work out some details first. They need to figure out which dishes they want to order or pre-order, and then they will probably have to figure out whether they want home delivery or in-person pickup.
Another choice they might have is to simply not buy all these New Year food and just get a New Year's Eve feast at restaurants that offer this service. I know my family here in Taiwan has done this a number of times in the past few years because it's just so much easier to go to a restaurant and order a New Year's Eve meal, and there are lots of other people there as well. You can celebrate together. But, of course, it's more fun if you buy the stuff yourself or if you even cook the stuff yourself and eat it at home around that round table with all your family members, and you can have a really great time before you start playing mahjong.
So Nora had said thank you to the vendor, and in reply, the vendor says, my pleasure. So the phrase my pleasure is kind of like you're welcome. You can say instead of you're welcome, my pleasure, which is short for my pleasure for having helped you, my pleasure for having responded to your question. So simply, my pleasure. Take your time and just let me know when you're ready. So the vendor is not in a hurry to find out Leo and Nora's plans. The vendor says you can take your time, and when you know what you want, then you can just come to me and I'll be able to help.
Okay, that brings us to the end of our lesson for today. Let's listen now to Henny.
各位同学大家好，我是 Hanny。 我们来看今天的文法重点。在课文第二部分的对话里， Leo 向小贩询问预购年菜的取餐时间。这时候小贩回答 Pickup is available from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. during the 3 days leading up to the holiday. 假期前3天的上午10点到下午6点可以取货。好，文中他用到 pick up 这个名词来表达提货、取走物品的意思。我们把它拆开变成片语动词 pick up， 那它可以表达出许多不同意思哦。好，首先来看第一个意思，可以表达购买，顺便采买。像 I'll pick up a few groceries on my way home， 就是我在回家路上会顺便去买一些食品杂货。那第二个，当我们用事物来当受词的时候， pick up 可以表达取物、领取物品。如果是以人当受词的话，可以表达接送某人。像是 I'll pick you up at your hotel at 7. 我7点会去饭店接你。好，那么第三个我们可以用 pick up 去表达举起、拿起、捡起来。还有像如果我们是把婴儿抱起来，其实也可以用 pick up 表达。那我们看个例句 Ed picked up his guitar and started to play. Ed 拿起吉他开始弹奏。好，那么第四个意思可以表达收拾、打扫，像是 Melissa helped her mom pick up the kitchen after dinner. 吃完晚餐后 Melissa 帮妈妈收拾整理厨房。那么第五个还可以表达出学会、养成的意思，像 pick up bad habits 是养成坏习惯， pick up some slang 学会一些俚语。那特别注意的是，用 pick up 来表达学会一件事情的时候，常常用来指非经过正统方式学习，而是慢慢从环境或机会里面拾得的能力或者是兴趣。好，那么另外要介绍的重点是 lead up to something， 这是表达时间临近什么、逼近什么，或者是紧接着在点点点之前。那常见的用法是用一段时间加上 leading up to， 再加某活动或者是事件，去表达说在某活动啊或是事件开始前的一段时间。就像文中他用到 during the 3 days leading up to the holiday， 这是表达假期前3天的期间。好，那我们也来看个例句是 Pam was anxious in the days leading up to the wedding. Pam 在婚礼前几天感到很焦虑不安。好，那另外 lead up to 它也可以表示像可能是一连串的事件导致了什么什么。例如 There was a chain of events leading up to the war. 一连串的事件导致了那场战争。好，那么以上件重点整理，我们回顾今天单字吧。
Lunar. The lunar calendar is based on the moon's revolution around the earth. Radish. Carrie likes to put a lot of radish in her salads. Pre-order. Customers can now place pre-orders for the book online ahead of its official release date. Lighten. To reduce the weight of their backpacks, hikers often try to lighten their loads by packing only the essentials. Pick up. A delivery service will make the pickup at your office tomorrow morning. Exceed. The cost of that vacation to California exceeds our budget, I'm afraid.
Well, that brings us to the end of another edition of our program, and please make sure you join us again next time. From all of us here, I am Roger.
I'm Helen.
See you next time.